Stand on the edge of any major shipping port in the world and watch those massive steel cargo vessels slowly glide into the dock. You will immediately notice a very specific visual pattern. The top half of these giant ships can be painted in a dazzling variety of colors: bright blue, emerald green, stark white, or even jet black. But the moment your eyes move down to the waterline, right where the steel meets the ocean, almost every single commercial ship on Earth shares the exact same dull, brick red underbelly. It is a striking, universal two-tone color scheme that spans the entire globe. Why exactly is that? Is there some strict international maritime law that forces every captain to paint the bottom of their ship red? Is it a nautical tradition dating back to pirates? Or is there a hidden scientific reason lurking just beneath the surface? If you have ever looked at a billionaire's luxury mega yacht or a rusty industrial freighter and wondered why they both share this seemingly random design quirk, you are definitely not alone. Today, we are getting straight to the point, leaving the nautical rumors behind, and breaking down exactly why the bottom of ships are painted red and the incredible ancient chemistry keeping global trade afloat. To understand why we use this specific color, you first have to understand the absolute nightmare that ship captains face the exact second they drop a vessel into salt water. The ocean is essentially a massive, incredibly crowded biological soup. It is packed with microscopic organisms, plant life, and tiny creatures desperately looking for a permanent home. When a smooth, clean ship hull sits in the water, it provides the ultimate luxury real estate for marine life. Within just a few days, a microscopic layer of slime and bacteria naturally coats the metal. This biological slime acts like a powerful glue, inviting larger organisms like green algae, seaweed, tube worms, and the absolute ultimate enemy of ships everywhere, the dreaded barnacle. In the maritime industry, this relentless biological invasion is known as biofouling. Now, you might be wondering, what is the big deal if a massive steel ship has some barnacles and seaweed hanging off the bottom? The problem comes down to pure physics and massive amounts of money. A modern cargo ship is carefully engineered to be as smooth and aerodynamic in the water as humanly possible, allowing it to slice through the heavy ocean with minimal resistance. When the hull becomes completely encrusted with a thick, rough layer of hard barnacles and slimy algae, it completely destroys that smooth hydrodynamic shape. This biological crust acts exactly like a giant underwater parachute, creating immense physical drag against the water. In fact, severe biofouling can increase a ship's drag by up to 60%. To fight through this massive resistance and maintain a normal cruising speed, the ship's engine has to burn significantly more diesel fuel. For a massive commercial freighter, a heavy layer of barnacles can easily increase fuel costs by millions of dollars every single year, while simultaneously pumping excess harmful emissions into the atmosphere. On top of that, some of these organisms naturally secrete acidic chemicals that literally eat into the steel hull, causing severe structural corrosion and risking the safety of the entire vessel. Ship owners desperately needed a way to stop this marine life from attaching to their multi-million-dollar investments. Since the dawn of ocean exploration, sailors have been fighting this biological invasion. Hundreds of years ago, early shipbuilders tried coating their wooden hulls with everything from tar and pitch to animal fat, just to make the wood too slippery for marine life to grab onto. But eventually, naval engineers discovered a miracle element that completely changed sailing forever: copper. They realized that if they nailed thin sheets of pure copper metal directly to the bottom of their wooden ships, marine life completely refused to grow on it. The science behind this is brilliantly simple. Copper acts as a highly effective natural biocide. When copper interacts with salt water, it slowly releases toxic copper ions right at the surface of the hull. This microscopic toxic layer prevents any algae, larvae, or barnacles from attaching and growing. For marine life, touching a copper hull is like trying to build a house on top of a highly toxic electrified fence. As the world transitioned from small wooden sailing ships to massive modern steel freighters, nailing actual metal copper sheets to the bottom of the hull was no longer practical or affordable. Instead, chemical engineers took that exact same anti-fouling technology and mixed it directly into a liquid paint. They loaded these special underwater paints with heavily concentrated copper oxide, allowing shipyards to simply spray that toxic protective copper barrier directly onto the massive steel plates. To make it even more effective, modern anti-fouling paint is designed to be ablative. This means it acts a lot like a bar of soap. As the ship moves through the water, the very top microscopic layer of the paint slowly washes away, constantly revealing a fresh, potent layer of copper underneath, so the hull never loses its toxicity. And this is exactly where the famous red color finally comes into the story. When you heavily concentrate copper oxide into a chemical paint mixture, it naturally carries a very distinct rust-like reddish-brown hue. Early anti-fouling paints were red purely by default because they were absolutely packed with this raw copper ingredient. The color was not a stylistic choice, it was just the unedited, natural color of the chemicals doing their job. Today, technology has advanced significantly. Paint manufacturers actually have the chemical ability to dye anti-fouling paint in almost any color they want. You can easily find smaller private speedboats with blue, white, or black anti-fouling paint. However, the commercial shipping industry is focused entirely on extreme efficiency and cutting costs. Adding artificial color dyes to thousands of gallons of industrial hull paint simply costs extra money and serves absolutely no functional purpose. Furthermore, the stark contrast between the red bottom and the black or white top of the ship actually serves a highly practical visual function. It creates a very clear, easy-to-see boundary. This high contrast line helps port workers and the ship's captain instantly see exactly how deep the vessel is sitting in the water. If the red paint dips entirely below the surface, they immediately know the ship is overloaded with cargo and structurally unsafe. So, the commercial shipping industry simply stuck with the traditional natural red. It is the cheapest to produce, it honors centuries of deep maritime tradition, and it provides the perfect visual contrast for load safety. The next time you see a massive cargo ship resting in the harbor, you will know that the dull red underbelly is not a fashion statement. It is a highly toxic, heavily engineered ablative copper forcefield, continuously working to repel billions of tiny ocean creatures, saving millions of dollars in fuel, and keeping the global supply chain moving smoothly. If you enjoyed learning the hidden science behind everyday things, hit that subscribe button, give this video a quick thumbs up, and leave a comment below telling me what massive machine or vehicle we should explore next. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next adventure.